All right, now here we go. It is live.
We ready right now.
Yeah.
All I know is this violates every canon of respectable broadcasting.
How are you?
Hey, who wants to help me get this recorder out of here? I need some muscle over here.
You are listening to Blame Your Brother.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everybody, to Blame Your Brother, episode 220. We are back once again, streaming the show live on YouTube, youtube.com/blameyourbrother. I will apologize last week in all the chaos. I said we stream it on Facebook. That is fake news. We stream it exclusively on YouTube, youtube.com/blameyourbrother. So come hang out with us every Thursday night, 8 p.m. We are in the house doing it. We are Blame Your Brother. I am one half of this duo. I am David, a.k.a. D-Brew, voice of people, Mr. 40%, Glenn Jackson, the spiritual midget. And this gentleman sitting over here to the left, it is my friend. It is John.
Hey everybody, John here, a.k.a. Tico, a.k.a. Mr. Nobody, Mr. Groupon, Mr. PTI, the Madman.
They got John Tortorella, a madman.
They do have a madman.
Okay, he's a madman.
All right, so David, John, we are Blame Your Brother. A lot to talk about tonight. Tonight, we have the Mount Rushmore of TV catchphrases. Is that how we're saying it? TV catchphrases?
Yeah.
We've got quite a bit to run through, so stay tuned for that to see what makes the list. Will, your favorite sitcom? And top of the show, did you pick Saturday Night Live, Dave Chappelle, or did you go exclusively like sitcoms?
I mostly, not just sitcoms, but TV shows. I didn't really, I mean, you could probably do catchphrases for Saturday Night Live alone.
Yeah.
For its own list.
That's why I left. Or like Dave Chappelle would be 1 through 4.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I did focus on sitcoms primarily for me, but we'll get to that as we get to it. But let us start off with some business. We like feedback. We like positive feedback more than anything else. And we got, the show has changed since Lee left. 2 months ago now, or a month and a half? I don't know. It's all like a big blur.
Early November.
It's been a couple weeks, right? I mean, and it's been new for us, me and John, figuring this out, figuring out the new format, figuring out the way it flows and things like that. And, people have commented on, the show, and we like to hear this. So we got this from Devin of Cobras Fire, and I'll talk about them in a second. It said, "Hello, I just heard your Bernie episode. It's the first time I've listened to it without Lee, as I'm behind on all my podcasts. My feedback is I really enjoyed it, and John's ridiculous banter and subsequent ball busting is one of my favorite parts. So forcing him to talk more, I actually think is a good thing. Quite smooth. I know it's a big change, but it's working well. I enjoyed Lee, but whatever happened there, it's fine and still works." So that was very nice of Devin to, we appreciate that. It means a lot. Like when you put a lot of work into something and when you kind of, this is what you like to do. You like to hear positive things. I mean, if it's negative, I'd like to hear that. And I've heard some negative feedback, and I appreciate that as well, as long as it's formative and critical. And
if it's something we can do something with,
if it's just you guys suck, which we've gotten before in the past from just wackos listening to the show. I mean, those are funny, but they don't help us grow as a show. Yeah. So I was on Cobras and Fire podcast. So it's Cobras and Fire. It's Baco and Loose Cannon. So that was Loose Cannon. Baco is he looked at the Spin top grunge albums. He took 25 out of the top 50, and each episode has been him inviting a guest to discuss one of the albums, which I think is a phenomenal idea. And he breaks it down. We listen to all the songs on it. We give our opinions on it. And we went to a lot of talk about my dad and how weird he was and how he kind of influenced my musical taste. I listened back. I was like, I just start a whole podcast about my dad because I think it would be very fascinating. I've actually thought maybe I could have people on and talk about their dads, but mine would be anyway. So if you want to check that out, just go look for Cobras and Fire podcast. It's available on podcast platforms. You can go check it out. We did Temple of the Dog's debut album, their only album. And, it wasn't an album I was super familiar with, but I listened to it, gave it a shot. I liked it, and we talked about it. So Cobras and Fire, thank you so much for having us. And he had a good time. I had a good time. It was fun. So it's always fun to hang out with other podcasters who you've met. I met them when they were here in Nashville, and Baco I did. So that's fun. So there you go. So
Sweet.
A little extracurricular activity there. So that will get us to and I'm wearing the Cobras and Fire t-shirt tonight in that honor. So go check that out, guys. It's really good. All right. Well, John, anything going on with you this week?
This week, I've been watching a lot of a lot of stuff over again. And
Like what?
well, my wife just recently got into The Good Place. And
Okay. Yeah.
I'd already seen the whole thing, and
Mm-hmm.
it's a great show.
Oh, phenomenal. Yeah.
I mean, Kristen Bell is, she's something else.
Yeah, she's great. She's great.
And just it's a great show, and the chemistry of the show. I mean, they even after the show wrapped and everything, the whole cast just was super close.
Oh yeah, I
and
can
super-
see that.
yeah,
They look
and
like they had a
so,
good time.
That's
That's a good. If you've never watched A Good Place, it is well worth a watch. It's very bingeable. Like you could watch it. You can knock that show out because it's only like 20-minute episodes, right?
yeah.
So I mean, it can go fast, but it's good. It goes somewhere. It ended greatly. It's the problem that a lot of shows have is that a lot of these shows want to bank on the money. Like you look at Lost is probably one of the prime examples. Like I mean, I love Lost. I think you like Lost.
Yeah.
But we all knew at some point in the middle, it was like, this is kind of spiraling out of control. And then the writers came in and said, no, we're ending this. And then it got good again. Whether you like the ending or not, they got back where they needed to be. And that's in like a series like The Leftovers, where we're only doing this many seasons. The Wire, those are great shows. Breaking Bad. You see the theme there is when you start with a beginning and an end, the shows typically are great. And I think Good Place did that well. They were like, we're starting here, we're ending here, and that's it. And we're not, and they could have ran that show for another 10 years probably. I mean, like you said, the chemistry was so great between all the actors that they could have just kept running it over and over.
Yeah.
You know, I see Kent in. What's up, Kent? Thanks for checking out the stream. Kent loves The Office, and I feel The Office should have ended way before it did.
They could have legitimately ended it when Steve Carell left.
They should have.
That episode was actually a really good episode.
Yeah, I know. They should have.
And so, I mean, that would have been a fine ending point.
I would agree with you, but
another show that I'd found, it's kind of in the vein of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
what is?
It's called Life's Too Short, and it's basically Warwick Davis of Willow fame.
Okay,
And
that's funny. It's called Life's Too Short.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And his character. I mean, he plays himself, but
What is this show? What do you mean?
it's
What
a-
does he do? What? It's just following him, like him, the actual person.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And he's a very what's his face? I forgot his name now.
Oh,
Yeah, David.
Larry David.
Larry David.
Oh, he's like Larry David.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ricky Gervais is in every episode.
Really? Okay. Never heard of this.
As a quasi friend.
Hmm.
Like whenever Warwick Davis comes around, Ricky Gervais is just trying to get rid of him.
Okay, that's funny.
And it's pretty funny. It's got those same cringeworthy type moments that
Oh, right. Yeah.
Curb Your Enthusiasm has as well. And you can see the dumpster fire coming
Well, that's good.
before it gets there. And so
Yeah.
yeah.
I've never heard. Where's this? Where is this available?
It's on HBO Max.
Okay. Huh. Well, John, I may have to check that out. It's pretty good. Okay. I rewatched a movie that we've all seen countless times, Forrest Gump. Okay. Now, it strikes me about Forrest Gump is that, this movie won multiple awards, right? Do you think this is a award-winning type movie? When's the last time you've seen it?
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
But I mean, the fact that it came out with Interview with a Vampire
Mm-hmm.
and Forrest Gump was the one to win all the awards.
So it's a bit odd, right?
Yeah, I just
Ah.
there's a lot of people that will die on that hill. They love that movie.
Don't get me wrong. Is it a good? I think it's a good movie, but it is a little bit corny. It's a little bit ridiculous.
Oh
but,
yeah,
But here's what I ultimately.
it's almost it's almost the exact opposite of Curb Your
Yeah,
Enthusiasm.
that's true. Yeah, I mean it's. But here's my thing. It is not. I mean, everybody thinks it's the story of Forrest Gump, but it's really the story of like Jenny more than Forrest Gump. Truthfully, when I look at it, like her and Lieutenant Dan, is like it's their story. He's just to me the vessel that's going through the current of their lives. I mean,
I thought it was more of a. I thought it was kind of heavy-handed with trying to. I think Forrest Gump is to history
mm-hmm.
as the movie Across the Universe
Yeah.
is to Beatles music.
Okay.
They were just trying to shove as much
Well,
in there as
yeah,
they could get.
It's obviously a plot device, but you really follow Jenny, who a lot of people watch the movie and don't really like her. But you got to understand, this woman in the movie came from a very, abusive father, sexually abusive toward her. She was searching her whole life for that closure, so she, joined the hippie revolution. She became a Playboy model. She did this and that. And it's nice, actually, if you look at it from the right way, which I don't think we look at movies the right, but at the end, she was able to find some, closure to her life, as she passes away. And then Lieutenant Dan's another great story where this was a guy who thought his destiny was this thing, and it turned out to be something else. And his ending is great. I think it's just great. And I'm telling you, man, the scene where Bubba dies, it still brings tears to my eyes, man. It is so, I don't know if you remember the scene, but he's in Vietnam.
Yeah.
And his last words are, "I want to go home." And I was like, oh my God, that's such a great scene, because I'm sure a lot of soldiers were feeling that. Young men that were in Vietnam probably thinking, what the hell are we doing in Vietnam? What are we doing here? And they're dying for nothing. It's just wild when you look at where we've come in history, and you can start to see why some people believe this is all manufactured reality. I'm playing Red Dead Redemption on the PlayStation, Xbox, not PlayStation, Xbox. And you look at Wild West days and you're like, was this actually happened in America, where people were just walking outside with guns and just blasting people? There was no real law. I mean, there were laws in towns, but it's hard to fathom that's an actual reality. And my son's reading a book about Civil War, about how 13-year-old children were going into war. You can't fathom that type of thing.
Not in this day and age.
So it's almost like you can say you can see why people go, did this actually happen? Are we in the Matrix? I don't know, because we seem to be in the best time of American history right now, if you ask me. We have high-speed internet. We have indoor plumbing. We have these great houses. We have cars that are top-notch, where I go to sleep every night never in fear. I'm not afraid some outlaw is going to break into my house and kill my family. I know that stuff occasionally happens, but for the majority, we have a very peaceful and joyful life. And it's crazy to think about, that's where we're at right now. So I don't know. I just think about that, and I think it's kind of wild.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, let's go on to, we had some notable deaths this week, very notable deaths. We had Hank Aaron passed away, Larry King passed away, and then this morning Cloris Leachman passed away. And, I look at, how upset can you, loose microphone there. How upset can you really be when a person is a certain age? People are like, oh, Larry King, what a loss. I'm like, really? The dude was 90 years old.
He lived a life.
He lived a good life. Of course, Leachman, she lived a good life. Hank Aaron, he lived a good life at the end. It's wild to me when we think of those three people. Hank Aaron, the stuff he had to go through while, breaking a historical home run record.
Yeah.
There's no telling what that guy was going through all the time. The races that was rampant in the world today and things like that. So when you think, I saw Hank Aaron. I went to the Baseball Hall of Fame with my brother-in-law a couple years back, and he was there. And he was older, and you could tell he was not in the best of health. But it was great to at least see a legend who, to me, I don't, and I'm not the biggest baseball fan anymore. And obviously I do not remember watching Hank Aaron. I don't know when he stopped playing, but I don't remember watching him. I didn't watch Babe Ruth, but Babe Ruth is the GOAT of baseball. But why is that? This guy beat his home run record. Is it because he did it in a longer period of time, or is baseball just too old to adapt to new things? Because even Barry Bonds came along and, shattered records, and obviously steroids are involved with that. I can understand that. But Hank Aaron, what's the excuse there?
Some people's excuse is the length of the season.
Yeah.
That there's a lot more games, so that's why he was able to. But still, he held that record for, 25, 26 years?
So
a very long time.
Did Bonds surpass him? Or
Bonds was the first person to.
So he did surpass his total home run record.
Yeah, him, Mark McGwire.
No, but that was single season.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the all time. It's still Hank Aaron, right? I'm sure Michael Anthony will correct it. I think he still has it. I'm not sure though. But what a career.
I thought you were talking about.
Single season. Yes. And when I think of baseball and that, these writers are so ridiculous with their holier than thou attitude. They were all writing about this stuff when it happened, and they loved it when it happened, and now they don't want to put any of these dudes in the Hall of Fame. It's absurd to me. Put them in. I know everybody says it. Put them in with the asterisk. Put them in a separate wing of the Hall of Fame. You cannot sit here and discredit that Barry Bonds and freaking Mark McGwire were two of the most fun players to watch of all time in baseball.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it brought me back in. I'm like, dude, I was watching that stuff every night. And Sammy Sosa, too, when all that happened, phenomenal. But now they're not going to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They might as well put them in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They're not going to be in the Baseball Hall of Fame. I don't know, it's absurd. But Hank Aaron, what a career, Hall of Fame, fantastic. You know?
I love the Hank Aaron shout out in one of the best sports movies ever, Sandlot.
Okay.
When the ghost of Babe Ruth comes in and he's talking to Benny and he sees the Hank Aaron rookie card and he's like, "Can I have this?"
Oh God!
I thought that was a pretty neat shout out. So. Well,
there we go. So rest in peace to Hank Aaron. Now, any thoughts on Larry King? Because I feel like I came once again aware of this guy. What are your thoughts on Larry King?
I mean, he is an icon when it comes to the one-on-one news interview.
Yeah. Did you watch him much?
I did not.
I didn't either. There's that infamous Seinfeld. Have you seen the Seinfeld clip?
I've seen the Seinfeld clip.
It's so funny. If people haven't seen it, he's basically asking Seinfeld. He is directly asking him, did NBC cancel Seinfeld? And he's just like, take it back. Like, what are you talking about, dude? He goes, do you need my resume handed to? I was like, this is if there was more interviews like that, Larry King, I might have been all in, but it's just kind of an old man interview
I mean,
show.
when you have a show like that, you either have to have a certain charisma about you, or you've got to have super high name guests.
Yeah.
And
he had the latter. Because I don't know he had much charisma.
That's what I'm saying is he was a news guy, so the charisma is just kind of.
Yeah. But I mean,
even in that interview, I don't think he was truly asking Seinfeld that question. I think he was trying to ask a question to lead on to another one.
Okay.
And he ended up looking like an idiot.
He did kind of look stupid in that. But remember when we were of that age, there was another interviewer that came along that captured anyone of our age attention. That was Howard Stern.
Oh, yeah.
Now, you're talking 20-year-old David and John. We're going to watch Howard Stern or Larry King?
We're going to watch Howard Stern.
Right, every time. Like, we would watch Howard Stern.
Because he could have nobodies on his show, and it'd be entertaining.
Yeah. We watched him all of the time when I look back. Like, we were watching, I try to imagine what we were watching back in the time. I know a lot of wrestling and a lot of Howard Stern is what I remember. I don't know what else we were watching, but those two definitely were.
I mean, if Channel E, whatever it's called, E for Entertainment, whatever it was, if that channel was on and we were watching it, it was Howard Stern, because that's the only thing we were watching on that show.
It's crazy. Me and John only lived together for, we lived together for longer than period. But as roommates in our separate apartment, same apartment, we lived together for just 1 year. It seems like a lot longer than that.
It does. We have there's so many memories I have from that short span of time.
Right.
That it feels like that was
it seems like
3 or 4 years.
Oh, it does. I mean, it seems like 5 years easily, but it was literally just a year.
Yeah.
And we got to the end of that year and we just, I don't know, it was a weird time. There was a girl involved. Kenny, our friend we talk about all the time, was involved. He didn't apparently want to live with us anymore. And I just wasn't keen on the idea of me, you, and Elizabeth, my ex-girlfriend at that time, living in the same apartment.
It would be weird.
Not because of you and me, but is she going to be kicking rent in? Is she getting her own rent? I don't know. It was just kind of weird. So I don't know. But anyway, all that being said, rest in peace, Larry King. And then Cloris Leachman. My wife came, this morning, I wake up, she goes, Cloris Leachman died. I'm like, who? Who is this? And she goes, that lady that was in Malcolm in the Middle, Mary Tyler Moore. I'm like,
she worked with Mel Brooks on some stuff too.
Young Frankenstein. I mean, once I saw her, I definitely recognized her. Obviously had an amazing career, Oscar winner, won several Emmy Awards for her work. So, good for her being a trailblazer in that. But, rest in peace to all three legends there. Let's talk about someone that hasn't passed away. I thought when we recorded a podcast last year with Lee in the room, and I'm not saying Lee was one, but I thought Tennessee, the state, said that Tom Brady's career was over. I swear, many Tennessee Titans fans said we killed this man's career. They said it. We destroyed him. He's done. He'll never achieve anything great again. This is what the fans said. Do you remember this, or am I crazy? I mean, yeah.
Tennessee fans talk.
Yes, and they said
lot.
He's done. Guess what? He's going to the Super Bowl, man. What a game. I don't know if you watched it. Tampa Bay versus Green Bay. What a battle of the Bay, and it was a fantastic game. I made a video about it on our Instagram if you want to go watch it, but was it his best game ever? No. Did he win? Yes. And that's what you're measured by. You're measured as a quarterback. Can you win the game? He's going to his 10th Super Bowl in 20 seasons. I mean, come on, dude.
That's you
absurd.
got a 50% show up record.
Yes.
To the Super Bowl.
It's absurd.
I mean,
and
with a different team.
Yes, a different team. And this team this year is going to be in their home stadium. Unfortunately, it's COVID, so they won't have that many fans there. It kind of stinks for them, but you couldn't write this story. You have basically the GOAT versus a guy that's coming up, Patrick Mahomes for the Chiefs, that could be the next GOAT. This guy is so much fun to watch.
They are, and it's fun and frustrating watching the Chiefs, especially if you're a fan of the opposite team.
Oh yeah,
because they'll string you along. And they're like, "Oh, you're winning." Oh no, not anymore.
He just pulls. He's just so. I mean, he's so talented. It's crazy. And so I'm looking forward to that. I don't know, do you generally watch Super Bowl? Is that one of the games you do catch?
I'll catch it in bits and pieces.
Okay. Because that's one of the ones. I think of Super Bowl, definitely will watch all the time. College football championship, I generally try to watch that. A lot of the finals or World Series things I'll try to catch, but Super Bowl definitely, and the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. And this coming up week is the Royal Rumble. And we are excited about it. I mean, I am. I am
too. I mean, for those who are wrestling fans that are listeners, I love the direction they're taking with Roman Reigns.
Yeah, he's great. It's so good.
I mean, they should have been doing this. I mean, they should have stuck with that from back in the Shield days.
Yeah, he's just so. If you don't know about wrestling, Roman Reigns was this baby face. He's this good-looking muscle dude. He looks like he would be in an 80s action movie. He would be the star of every. I mean, he looks. I mean, like, dude, if they're like, you got to pick someone to look like Roman Reigns. Oh, yeah, sure, I'll take that dude. I mean, but he was a baby face, and that means a good guy. And they have essentially turned him into this monster heel who literally just says, "I run this company. Like, this is my company. It's no one else's company.
I'm the head of the table.
I'm the head of the table. If you want to get fed, you come to me." So much he's taken his cousin, his real life cousin, who's his lackey, for a better term. His I'd say other words, but yeah, you know what I'm saying. His lackey, and it's phenomenal. So if you don't know, Royal Rumble is usually one of those wrestling events where you can grab a casual fan, someone who doesn't know anything about it, and just go, "Let's watch this." Okay, here's the rules. Dudes are going to come in. They got to throw them over the top rope. Whoever's left standing wins. And I've been with casual people watching it, and they love it. It's just it's a crazy idea. It's fantastic. It gets a chance to see a lot of the wrestlers, old wrestlers come back, new wrestlers stay in. Now, I've heard rumors that John Cena is coming back, and a lot of people think he might take it. What do you think about that?
No.
What do you mean, no?
I don't think he'll take it. If they do that, I think they'll they'll use the Royal Rumble, which they have done that before, use the Royal Rumble to set up a feud, much like they did last year with Edge and Randy Orton.
They're saying Cena versus Roman. The old school dude who worked his butt off coming in going, "Roman, you can't handle this company like I did. You're not the guy." I don't know. And they're saying Brock Lesnar. So that being said, if you're a wrestling fan, let us know who you think is going to win. I will definitely be watching Sunday. I can't wait. I'm jazzed about it. It's fantastic. Now, we got to talk about a show that we talked about last week, just roughly, WandaVision. You watched all 3 episodes.
I watched all 3 episodes.
All right, so I don't want to jump heavy into spoilers, okay? But let's just give what are your thoughts on the show? I mean, what are you giving it? Just 1 to 5 stars based on the 3 episodes you've seen so far. Oh.
Not quite 4.
Okay, so like 3.5.
3 3/4.
Now, why? What do you not like about it? I guess because I've heard what everyone likes about it. I could say that. What do you not like about it?
it's I tune into the show
Mm-hmm.
because I'm a comic book fan.
Of course.
And I'm wanting to watch a comic book.
Yes. Okay.
And this is more along the lines of the Twilight Zone.
Oh yeah. No, for 100%. Yeah.
And so, I'm not knocking the Twilight Zone, but that's not why I'm tuning in.
Okay.
And so that's why it gets the lower ranking.
Yeah, well, I brought that up last week. I said it's an interesting idea that they're
it's
taking
definitely
this
interesting.
show.
Yeah.
You would call it crazy, really, that you're taking Marvel properties and there is no superhero. This is not a superhero show at this point. That may turn into it at the end. But right now, this is literally, I mean, you probably said it best. It's like the Twilight Zone. You're like, what is happening? Like, you know, everybody's got their theories and all this and that. But right now, I mean, it is, I find that, I love it. Because I like when people take chances with things. I think that's why some of the shows off the beaten path are me. Like, I know you like Big Bang Theory. The reason I can't stand that because I know what it is. I'm never going to be surprised. My wife loves to watch the Goldbergs. I see the show. I understand it's written well, but what's happening? Nothing. Every episode is just like you take like The Leftovers. Man, you don't know what's going to happen on this show, right? That's like a whack show. Like, man, 2% of the population gone, you know, and now everybody's struggling. And these characters change so much over the course of the season.
Mm-hmm.
You start with here, they end up here. You don't know what's happening. People die, people come back, people do this. It is a wild show. I think that's what now, when I look for movies at night and I try to watch a movie or at least start a TV show every night before I go to bed, I go to some movies and I'm just like, I don't want to see this because I already know what's going to happen. Like, there's nothing here for me to see. But anyway, so that's kind of your just minor complaint, I guess.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, I think it's going to be fun to see where this goes. And so theories are, of course, that it is I don't even know if these are theories at this point because it's kind of almost been proven. But we can't say spoiler alert because these are theories. So, I mean, but it's a manufactured reality of some degree.
Yeah.
I think we can say that for sure. I think the question is, whose is it?
Who's pulling the strings?
Why is it? I mean, where is it? Who? You know, so I find it very. I can't wait to watch more, and I think that's what they're doing well. I'm ready to watch more every week. You know,
Yeah.
even like the Mandalorian, you kind of. I mean, you knew where it was going. Like they're not going to kill Baby Yoda. Like let's get real here.
Yeah.
You know, and that becomes kind of the problem with some superhero shows. With this show, I don't know, man.
Well, you're going into the show with a character that was already
Yeah, he's dead. I mean, he's dead as far as we know, right? I mean, he died in the movie. We saw him die. So
and we never saw him
brought back
to life.
No.
The first scene of WandaVision, he's there.
He's there. So I would just say if you're definitely, you know, and like I said, I know some people have watched it and been kind of lukewarm on it. I'd just say give it a chance. Let's see where it goes. But I just find it captivating at this point, and I'm ready for more. So yeah, definitely check it out. It's on Disney Plus. If you know, Disney Plus is putting out just enough shows where I'm like, I gotta have it. Like, if I want to watch a new Pixar movie, I need Disney Plus. If I want to watch The Mandalorian, gotta have Disney Plus. And they're launching a lot of Star Wars content and a lot of Marvel content. So what a day and age that all these companies. Peacock bought WWE, so now if you want to watch WWE, you're going to get on Peacock instead of it's a wild time, man. We thought podcasts were going to kill radio. I think all these individual companies doing their own thing is essentially going to kill TV at some point. I mean, it's going to be hard.
I could definitely see it.
You know,
yeah.
Now it's going to be. I'm not saying like next week it's going to go away, but over time it's going. You know, it's fascinating. It's really fascinating where this younger culture comes in. YouTube, I call them kind of the YouTube culture. They like 10-minute videos at a time. That's why I tried that Quibi. Did you hear about this Quibi thing where every episode was like 10 minutes long of a TV show? And I went, now hold on. It went under. Obviously, it did not make the grade, but whatever. From Kent in the chat, I need to hear about these stocks, even though David tweeted he doesn't care about anyone's stocks. Okay. Do you know anything about the stock situation that's going on right now?
I have no idea about stocks, period.
Okay. You are familiar with the company GameStop?
Yes.
Okay. So GameStop is involved with some weird fraud. I don't want to say fraud. With some weird stuff about Stock.
Trading practices.
Yes. I'm going to read. I pulled up this Reddit because I didn't understand it. And someone posted on Reddit. Someone please explain to me what's going on with the stock market right now? Okay. And this is what they said. GameStop, it said, as you can probably imagine, is a company that was widely considered to be on the verge of falling due to brick and mortar gaming retailer. Makes sense, you know. Due to this, Wall Street hedge funds bet on its stock price continuing to drop by doing what's called shorting a stock. I cannot believe this is actually legal to do this. In simple terms, shorting a stock is when someone borrows a stock off of somebody else and then immediately sells the stock. Okay, so I'm a hedge fund guy. I'm going to borrow your stock. I'm going to sell it. Eventually in the future, they will need to buy the stock back. So I'm borrowing it from you. Now I got to buy it back from you at some point to return once they borrowed. If the stock price drops, I make a profit because I'm buying it back at less than what I borrowed it from. However, there's one major catch. If the price rises, they'll be forced to buy it back at a higher price. And since stocks can essentially go up to infinity, they can go into enormous debt. So we're kind of following this now. These hedge funds guys, they borrow the stock of failing companies where they can buy it back at a lower price and make profit off of it. Well, apparently Reddit, some young people got on Reddit, figured this out, and started getting everyone to buy stock in GameStop where the stock was going through the roof. So the hedge fund guys are now like losing their money. And like this is in the news, man. This is like major news. Like AOC and Ted Cruz actually agree on that this needs to be looked into. If you gave me that phrase that Ted Cruz and AOC agree on anything, that would be pretty wild to think about. So if you've been hearing that, you know, so obviously the guys with the money are not happy right now. They're obviously, and these young kids, and, you know, you got to look at the young generation. They're going to figure these things out, and they're not about, you know, they're not about this Wall Street lifestyle that people have been living. They don't like it, you know, and as AOC and Bernie and these people that they love, they're not about these hedge fund guys. So this will be fun to watch to see what happens. But that's kind of, if you're listening and you're like, what's going on with this stock thing? That is a short, quick analysis of it. So the younger generation figured out a loop in the system. And so Robinhood.
Sticking it to the man.
Well, Robinhood, the app, which is an app for common person. I had it at some point. I had a few stocks and then kind of sold all of them because I don't care, you know. But they essentially said, I think they were going to allow anything to move on GameStop anymore. And so it's all this wild stuff. I'm not rich. I don't care, you know. But anyway, so there you go. I just want to, I know people have heard about that on the internet. It's a lot of talk about it and everything. So there we go. Jeffrey in the chat says, in Quibi, which I don't believe exists anymore, but the 10-minute show network, there's a show called The Dangerous Game that you need to check out. Well, I don't know how you would find it, but whatever. All right. Well, we're at the halfway mark, so I think it's time to jump into the Mount Rushmore TV catchphrases.
I was thinking maybe let's kind of make it a game.
Okay.
Go
ahead.
Instead of like just saying your the catchphrase, you say what show it is.
Okay.
And the other person has to guess what the catchphrase
fair enough.
is.
All right. Okay. So Mount Rushmore, simple rules on the show. I'm going first this week because John went first last week, and it is a draft style. I'll pick one. Once I pick that one, it's off the board. Then John will pick his. His is off the board, and we go back and forth. We're going to list our top 4. We're looking to make a definitive list of Mount Rushmore. People looked at it. What are some great TV catchphrases? So I'm gonna go to my number 1. I'll tell you what show it's from. Once I tell you what show it's from, you're gonna get it 100%. But when I think of this one, I say it around my kids all the time. All the time. I mean, it's probably one of my most quoted ones. So just based on that, I'm curious. You don't want to play your hand, though. I understand.
I mean, there's 3 that are coming to my mind.
I would just tell you, it features a very short individual uttering the catchphrase, and the show was called Different Strokes.
Yeah, that's my number 2.
Okay, so what is it?
What you talking about, Willis?
What you talking about, Willis? I love that. That is such a great, because here's why I love it. It can be used in everyday life situations. Anytime someone says something stupid to you, which I find is a lot of time.
That's a lot of time nowadays.
My children say a lot of things where I'm just like, what you talking about, Willis? And they have no idea, like, who is Willis? So why are you saying that like there? But what you talking about, Willis, is definitely my number 1. I love that show growing up. Watched it all the time religiously. ridiculous show. Like an old white man adopts two young black, they're brothers, right? Yeah. And takes care of them. I mean, heartwarming. It's a good story. You wish, honestly, that more of that happened. You know, we actually, after the show went off, we were talking about the foster care system and how jacked up it is and everything. But this was a heartwarming show from the 80s. So my number one is What You Talking About, Willis, from Different Strokes. So.
All right.
All right. So
now this might throw you for a loop because there'll be a few choices for this one.
Okay.
The Simpsons.
Oh, well, I'm going to say, okay, the first one that come to mind, I had a shirt of it, and I got in trouble at a Christian school I went to for wearing the shirt, but it simply said, Cowabunga, dude. Or is it Eat My Shorts?
Nope.
Okay. Don't. Okay. Don't. That's a good one. That's good. Okay, so you went with Homer Simpson.
Homer Simpson.
I didn't even think of The Simpsons, which is crazy. They didn't come up on any of the list.
It's probably the longest running show.
Yeah, oh no, I think it is.
Prime time.
It's a great one. Homer Simpson is the essential, just dope of a man, but he's so. What works with Homer Simpson, I guess, is he has all the good intentions. Like, you know, you could picture him as someone who wasn't raised properly, but he's trying his damnedest, even if he's a constant screw up.
Yeah.
I think a lot of husbands feel this way, that their wives are always like, oh, this guy's a total screw up. I mean, I feel it a lot of the time. Like, you can hear like the sighs of wives, like they'll be like, ugh,
yeah,
don't, you know, like, and do I screw up often? Like the dishwasher situation. Yeah, I screwed up majorly, man. Like, that is a Homer Simpson moment. So, okay, so Doe from Homer Simpson. All right, that's a good one. All right. Okay, let's go to my number twos, because I kind of, I'm going to go with this one. It's another one that I say all the time. It's a black themed show.
All right. This is the one before we started, you said you say it all the time, and this is the one I thought.
Okay, well, okay, just go ahead. Say the stupid. Do you want me to give you the show?
Sanford and Son.
Oh, no, it's not.
No.
Oh, wow. That's good. Oh, wow. That might be coming up later. Yes.
Oops.
No,
then it's Good Times.
It's Good Times.
Right.
Dynamite.
Dynamite.
Oh,
yeah.
I say that all the time. I don't know why. Once again, it's a short phrase. I don't even know why I say it. Like, it's just like when something happens that you want to happen or something crazy happen, I just go, dynamite. Like, it's ridiculous. Did I watch this so religiously? I mean, I watched it. It wasn't quite as good as Different Strokes, but Dynamite.
I think Different Strokes was right in our wheelhouse when we were little kids.
Right.
Whereas Good Times came out a few years earlier than that.
Yeah, and was very heavy.
Very, very heavy.
I mean, so much they
showed the dad
dies.
Yeah.
Like, can you name another sitcom besides 8 Rules for Dating My Teenage Daughter? Was that?
But I mean, the actor didn't die.
No, the actor didn't die. They just said, you're not on this show anymore.
And
can you imagine? Which is really crazy thinking about that. 8 Rules. That is the name of that show, right? 8 Rules for Dating My Teenage Daughter with
8 Simple Rules.
John
Simple Ritter.
Yeah, John Ritter. When I worked at Cracker Barrel, people constantly, I don't know why, man. I've gone through my life with people calling me a bunch of crazy actors. I was thinking about that day. I was like, the list of people say I look like, it's absurd, you know. But I would get to an older couple's table, and maybe it was my haircut or something. I don't know. And they would just start laughing. I was like, hey, how's it going? They go, you know who you look like, don't you? And I went, yep, Three's Company. And they went, yeah, Three's Company. So, but yeah, that's crazy. Dynamite. That's my number 2. Fantastic. All right, what you got?
All right, I got to kick it way back. I say this one with my son all the time, just being silly.
Okay.
It's from The Honeymooners.
Oh, is it? Bang Zoom to the Moon, Alice. Oh, that's on my list. That would probably made my list, man. That is a good one. Yeah. Oh, that's Honeymooners. Once again, I watched this a lot. Did you watch this a lot?
It was like the male version of I Love Lucy.
Yeah, and
so yeah.
I mean, could you get away with that saying today? I don't know. It's a little bit domestic violence-y. I mean, let's be honest.
Domestic violence-y.
But once again,
words I never thought would be said on this show.
Fantastic. I like it. So from the chat, Jeffrey says Simpsons has the most seasons probably, but Law and Order SVU came out before them and they were still running. I don't know who's watching that show, but anyway, okay. Well, SVU is one of those shows where if I'm up like at 11:30 at night or 12 and there's literally nothing
There's
else on.
so many different versions of the show, though. I feel like it's
Well, SVU is the main one.
yeah.
And I'll watch like 3 episodes back to back. It's literally the same show. Every show is the same. It's just a different case, but that's how they drag you in. So yes, Bing Bang or whatever to the moon.
Bang Zoom to the moon.
Yes, Bang Zoom to the moon. Fantastic. Honeymooners is one of those classic Nick at Night sitcoms. That's where I would watch a lot of these. That was way before our time, obviously, but I watched Nick at Night a lot. I was watching. You name the old sitcoms, watch them.
They had some when we're. Like preteens. They had shows on there. Like they had Mr. Ed, Dobie Gillis.
Mm-hmm. I watched Dobie Gillis. I watched Green Acres, Mr. Ed, Honeymooners, Dick Van Dyke Show. this is a young David.
Oh man, Dick Van Dyke
was
man.
great.
I had a crush on Mary Tyler Moore.
Yeah, I did too. Wow, she was something else back then. All right, there we go. That's number 2, Honeymooners. Okay, well, number 3 then. Of course, you've already said it. It's from Sanford and Son. Go ahead.
Elizabeth, I'm coming.
Yeah, that's a good one. And it was even weirder that I dated someone named Elizabeth. And I would definitely say it all the time.
That's why I thought that was going to be.
Yeah, well, no, it's. I knew you wouldn't put that on yours, but
it's on my list. But
oh man, Sanford and Son. Let me tell you, man. If
Red
you want,
Fox. Oh my god.
If you want one of the greatest shows of all time. We did the Mount. We did
iconic. If we did a Mount Rushmore of television theme songs.
Oh, come on, man!
It definitely.
The show is the best. We had at one point when our 100th episode, we did best shows of all time. Sanford and Son was like in the Elite 8, man. I'm telling you,
it's up there
for its time. Hilarious. Red Fox.
And they had some dark moments too on that show too.
Yeah, they did, but the comedy moments were outstanding.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, the cops showing up, the who was the lady that would always, was that related to him? Was that his sister, his aunt, or like just some church lady? I don't know. It's fantastic, man. If it's ever on, I will watch it. Like, it's rare that it's on, but if it is, I'm in, dude.
Yeah.
I used to wear a Sanford shirt all the time, everywhere. I miss that shirt. I need to refine that shirt and wear it again, because I don't know what your others are going to be. We're also Rands, but there's another great saying from that show as well, which I tend to say, which might be my number 4. We'll see. I don't know.
Are you going to take another one for the same show?
I might. It's good enough. I don't know. Okay. What you got?
All right. I'm going to kick it back again. Stay in the old school, but let's add a little sci-fi flavor to it. Lost in Space.
Lost in Space. Okay. What would be a catchphrase? Oh, Danger Will Robinson.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes.
Yeah, I do say that one a lot as well. When I'm at work and something bad happens, I will often find myself saying that.
I made it when before we named Asher, I joked with my wife. My middle name is William.
Okay.
And her name's Robin. Everybody knows Robin. And I told her we should name her, jokingly. Told her we should name our kid William Robinson. So whenever he starts to get in trouble,
go Danger
Will Robinson.
Danger Will Robinson. There you go. That's a good one. All right, there we go. Lost in Space, another one I watched all the time. They've remade it, redone it, and it
made a movie for it.
It just ain't the same, man. There was something about it that worked at that time. I think because it was space was a new thing, and it was a fascinating look. It was kind of like the Fantastic Four without powers, essentially, And it kind of worked because it had the kid in it, where as kids you could watch it and go, ooh, that could be me, and then parents can watch it and go, wow, this would be crazy if this happened. And so, yeah, there was good characters on there. The robot was fantastic, who obviously, would say the phrase and everything. So that's good. All right. Okay, my last one, I could have went with Sanford and Son. I could have said, you big dummy. I'm not, but I love that one as well. I do say that one quite a bit to myself because it's not so PC anymore. But I'm going to put a modern one up here that I think everyone says. I've never been at a point. It's died down a little bit, and you're going to get it as soon as I tell you the show. But for a while, you could not go into the office or work setting without this being said, and it's from The Office. Go ahead.
That's what she said.
Yep, that's what she said, man. Yeah. Come on. For a while, dude, that was said by everybody. I still say it. I know it's uncool. I know a lot of things are uncool that I like. Like, I still do the dab around my kids just because it's uncool and I like it. But That's what she said. It was hot in the streets, man. Like you couldn't.
Yeah.
I was in work meetings, man, professional work meetings, and someone would go, "That's what she said," and I was like, "I don't even think that applies to this, but that's funny, dude." Like so yeah, that's what she said. Michael Scott, he's probably got more great quotes than most TV characters. That's why people love The Office. It's Michael Scott.
Yeah.
I know it's a cast of characters. If Michael Scott's not on that show, it doesn't work.
No.
It just doesn't, man. It doesn't because
they changed because the first episode of The Office was pretty much like scene for scene, line for line, almost from the British version.
Okay.
But they changed his character,
Right.
because he just brought a different take. Steve Carell he's a different guy than
Right.
Ricky Gervais,
yeah.
and so and he ran with amazing.
Yeah, no, he's dude. It's.
Yeah.
If you're listing best sitcom character, I don't know how Michael Scott's not. He's on the Mount Rushmore of just characters.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
People love The Office. People love it. Like Kent just said, David wins because of that. He did say. Kent said he said I'm Rick James, bitch. But we said no Chappelle. We're not doing Chappelle because Chappelle for me would just be 1 through 4. Game Blouses is a constant. I want people to understand. I say it so much in my house now, my kids have started saying it. When like we're in Fortnite, we're playing, they're just like, game blouses. They were saying it during football games and Tom Brady, when they ran out the clock, my son goes, Dad, game blouses. I went, yeah, there we go. So, yeah, Chappelle could just be its own list. So,
Yeah.
All right, so that's my last one. John, what is your last one? Give me the show. I mean, we haven't even touched on the greatest show of all time, which is crazy. But you do you, man.
I'm not doing yada yada yada.
Okay.
It's up there, but man, there's a lot of things I want to choose.
It's tough. This is one of the toughest ones we've done for sure.
It is because normally I'll have a list of like 12 max of choices.
Yeah.
You see my page.
I've got the whole page on mine as well. Like all these up here going up here. And we're not even touching on some of these, man.
I know, and there's if I were to go true to my list, I thought you were going to pick the next one. I don't want to do that one because I don't want to do 2 sci-fi ones back to back. But as far as like something that is synonymous with the show, I got to go with Family Matters.
I had that one on my list. Did I do that? I mean, come on. I'm glad you put that on there because
I had to. And there was a lot of there's some non-comedy shows that I had on there.
That's a great one.
Batman, same bat time, same bat channel.
Yeah, that's a good one.
The one I was referring to is Live Long and Prosper.
Okay, I had Make It So, but yeah.
I had Engage.
Okay, let's run ours down, then we'll go over all the ones we missed. All right, so David had Different Strokes. What you talking about, Willis? I had Dynamite. I had Elizabeth, I'm coming for you, and that's what she said. John had Dope, Simpsons, Honeymooners, which let me
bang zoom to the moon.
Alice. Okay, you had Danger Will Robinson, and Did I Do That? Okay, so why don't you run down some of your ones that did not make? Okay, let's just go Seinfeld first. I had No Soup for You. And I had Yada Yada Yada, which I think are 2 of the best ones from the show.
Yeah.
Hello, Jerry. That's another.
Newman.
Yeah, so that's a good. Okay, so go ahead. What else did you have?
Let's see. I love it when a plan comes together. 18.
Oh my God, I say that all the time, dude. Were we just kids that are just quoting these? I think we are.
Maybe.
I think me and you are for sure. I'm starting to think there's a problem here.
Kojak, Who Loves You, Baby?
Who Loves You, Baby? That's a good one, man.
Quantum Leap, Oh Boy.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Dragnet, Just the Facts, Man.
That's a good one.
The Tonight Show, Here's Johnny.
Yeah, I would stay away from talk shows. Everyone says that for sure.
How You Doing from Friends.
Yeah.
Happy Days.
What's the other one? Up Your Nose with a Rubber Hose.
And Welcome Back, Kotter.
Yes, yeah.
The probably one of the more recent shows, Legend, Wait for It, Dairy. From How I Met Your Mother.
I don't like that show, man.
I know, but
Suit Up Boys or whatever. Yeah.
From Alice, Kiss My Grits.
Kiss My Grits. I had that on mine.
South Park. Oh my God, they killed Kenny.
Yeah, well, you say that all the time for sure.
Big Bang Theory. You got a couple of choices on that one. Bazinga. or You're in My Spot.
Nope.
And then my last one on my list from Get Smart, Missed It by This Much.
That's a good one. I had Make It So from Star Trek. The plane. I say that one all the time for Fancy Island. One I do say all the time that is going to surprise people, Project Runway, Tim Gunn, Make It Work. I walk around my house saying that. All my kids will come up to me and go, Dad, I go, make it work. I had Yada Yada, No Soup for You. You got it, dude, from Full House. Did I do that? Of course, you had that one, and I think that's about it. I mean, there's
in honor of the show that rewatching right now, What the Fork.
What the Fork is a good one. Yeah, I think I kind of did variation of that tonight at dinner. So there you go. Well, that's good, man. There's so many. So definitely let us know what we missed on the list because I'm sure.
Oh, there's definitely some that we missed, but I hope it's not your favorites.
Yeah, well, Glenda said, how rude from Full House had quite a few that we were talking about before the show starts. I don't know. It's just so many. I think of how my life has been shaped, and my kids are unaware that I'm really grabbing these phrases from shows I've watched. So I've kind of told them some of them, but some of them I'm just going to keep to myself, and they'll just think, hey.
We had cartoons, Transformers Roll Out.
Yep.
I mean, there's so many.
What up, Doc?
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't even talk about cartoons, which could have been a whole entire thing.
Yeah, that could have been a list.
All right, well, there you go. That's our Mount Rushmore of TV catchphrases, so hopefully you guys enjoy that. All right, so I know we want to wrap it up with some talk about, you talked about the minimum wage right now is the hot talk in the streets. As I limit myself to Twitter now, I try not to get on it as much as I used to, but that's the big talk right now. The big talk is, can we make the minimum wage higher than it used to be? I think me and you come from radically different views on this, I would say. So, John, what is your thoughts on raising the minimum wage to $15, I guess is kind of the starting point right there.
The minimum wage in Tennessee right now is $7.25.
Right.
Okay. So, essentially, you'll be doubling people's pay.
Okay.
I'm not against overall raising the minimum wage, but if we were to do something like that across the board, across the United States, that drastically, at least for places like Tennessee, during the pandemic.
Okay. I mean, but okay, go ahead.
It would shut the few places that are open.
I think
it would shut them down.
I don't think so, man. Here's what I think. I think we live in a society now, and I look at it like this. We used to think, society, not us necessarily, but society used to think that it was okay to corporally punish your children. Like, this was a common thought. Whereas it like beating your children was like, hey, he got it coming, he had to switch, I think we evolved and we said, dude, you can't be doing that. Like, that's bad for children. It's bad for raising them. It's bad for theirs. I think it's the same thing with capitalism now that we're kind of evolving as a society. Someone I listen to a lot would be Adam Carolla. I used to. And he used to get on there and go, you can feed your family for 30 cents a day with just beans. And I mean, at the time I went, yeah. And now I've thought, who the hell wants to eat beans every day of their life? Like, really think about that. Like, you're supposed to care for your family of several people. And I'll break it down like this. We expect when people get out of high school to know what they're going to do for the rest of their life. I mean, when I look at myself at 18, I still am trying to figure things out, and I'm 43 years old, So, like, the idea to get a job that you're going to do for the rest of your life, which was a lot of people are stuck in their 30s and 40s at jobs that they hate, And a lot of that is where you can make money, if you're lucky. If not, I don't know what you do. I think we can both agree $7 is ridiculous.
It is.
I mean, and people go, well, if and I've heard the argument, I'm sure you would say it, like, if we raise the minimum wage to this amount of money, it's going to go up, the milk is the big one. Milk is going to go up to $5 a gallon. Well, milk's gone up consistently over time anyway, and the minimum wage wasn't raised that much. So what is the argument there? I think it's absurd that we expect Walmart, $1 billion company, and I'll pick the big one. You can argue the smaller companies or whatever, but I think Walmart can afford to lose a few billion of their dollars to help people live comfortable lives. Like,
Walmart can.
What is the purpose of this life? What do you think the purpose of life is? Like, I think that's essentially what we boil it down to. Is it to have the biggest house, the best car, or would you be more comfortable with everyone having a nice car, a nice house? And I know this sounds like Lee's Socialism 101, but I think we need to start re-examining how we're running our life. I understand if you go, and I mean, I'm not full in to Bernie like, everyone gets the same amount of money. I'm not stupid, but there's got to be a cutoff point where these people have got to take care of their employees better. Walmart, I mean, if you want to pick another example, I mean, you're saying like a small mom and pop. I mean, I read an article today where a guy was saying, well, we raised all of our people up to $15 and we had to increase the cost. Well, of course, just a little bit to the customers. He goes, and no one has complained. Why can't all society go, let's pay a little bit more? I mean, that's the sticking point, right? That things will go up, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think things are going up anyway, regardless. Because
I think it would be more drastic, though, if you were suddenly to drop. I think raising a minimum wage should be up to the state to enforce that, not a blanket across.
You've seen Bill Lee. This guy cannot be held accountable. He won't even enforce coronavirus protocol, man. In his state is like at the top of the list. He's top of the charts, man.
I agree. We're number 7 in worst cases.
I'm saying you cannot trust the states, man. The states where the Republicans are in office, the majority, Tennessee, they're not going to raise it, man, because they don't care, because they're the haves. They're the haves and the have-nots. And the haves get to make the rules. So how are they going to benefit the have? You're right. You go to Seattle or you go to New Hampshire or Vermont or things like that, it's probably going to be a lot different. I see your point there. And maybe as we look at it, I'm not saying it should be uniform. Yes, I'm saying it should be uniform. I think we need to get to a good number. I just think it's unfair for a single mother who's busting her butt, raising a couple of kids, who may have made some bad decisions, or maybe she made those decisions because she wanted to. It doesn't matter, however. Everyone is either lucky or unlucky. We all sit here and go, yeah, man, no, you got lucky. Like, you could have been born in another situation and you would have had nothing. You would have been struggling. Like, we all agree no one can live on minimum wage, right? Like, It's impossible. Like, you would have to have several jobs. Like, somebody put out a spreadsheet and they're like, well, here, this is person doing minimum wage. I've broken it all out where they can live. And they're like, dude, you've got $0 for their heating and air cost. What are you talking about, dude? You just say they're not going to have central heat and air. I'm not far on the socialism side. I'm not far on the capitalism side. I think the key is society, and this may be for a future generation. We got to figure out how to work it where everyone, I'm not saying there can't be people with better things, but the lower end people need to have decent things, man. I mean, this is crazy to me.
I agree that in some states, especially ours, I think it is due time to raise the minimum wage in Tennessee. But to essentially more than double it out of nowhere during the pandemic, that's my biggest problem about it.
But you can't say out of nowhere.
If everything was open,
mm-hmm.
I'd feel a lot more comfortable about it. But the fact that I'm saying that if my company,
mm-hmm.
if my job were to bump our pay up that amount, they'd close it. They'd close the hotel down.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I'm saying that based on how much money's coming in.
Okay.
And I know how to do math. And like now 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, it wouldn't be a problem.
Okay. Well, I mean, what I would say, closing remarks on that, and I think, maybe in another episode we can go a little bit deeper dive into it, but I think the pandemic has opened up people's eyes to a lot of situations, like how people are living, the rights of people, the Black Lives Matter movement, affordable care, earned income, all that things. I think people have had time to think about it. And I think the lower end is starting to go, wait a minute, dude. Like, I mean, the employer is not a slave master. I'm working for you. Like, I've got to get something out of this just as much as you have. And it's been run a long time. Like, I employ you. I can do whatever I want. But it's like, I'm providing you a service. I'm making you money too. Like, I mean, but I get you. I'm not saying, I think it's tough. I mean, that's why it's obviously a hot issue. And, we don't have the answers, but we will come back to that and address it another day, I'm sure. So, Well, there you go. Great episode, man. We got a lot of stuff out of the way. So, this has been Blame Your Brother. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. What we always tell you to do, if you like the show and you want to hear more, oh my God, I didn't get to the Dear John. We got it. No, we're going 5 minutes over. We got to do Dear John. Oh my God, I forgot about Dear John. Okay, it's time for Dear John.
We cannot let our fans down.
Quick thing in Dear John. Here we go. All right, so we're gonna. I mean, if it goes 5 minutes over, it's fine. People can live with it or not. If you don't like it, skip. Okay. Someone wrote in. I asked people. I was asking friends. We need a Dear John. It needs to come back. This is the segment where John right here gives advice to people. Sometimes it goes good. Sometimes it goes
Most
bad.
time it goes bad.
Here's the Dear John, and this is word for word on the screen. Dear John, my girlfriend and I have been dating for 6 months now, and things are getting serious. Her lease is about to end, and we've discussed moving in together. We get along great. She is normally at my place most nights. Anyway, we are in Denver, and the cost of living is really high, and financially, this would be a big win, but there's one thing. She has a pet ferret. It's one of the main reasons I never stay at her place, and I find it disgusting from its scent, the odd noises it makes, and that it bites my toes anytime she lets it out of my cage. It's also a thief. It always steals my things while I stay there. My car keys and socks have gone missing and found stashed under her couch, making me late to work. I love her, but not her ferret. She's had it 6 years, and it's her musky baby. What do I do? This is someone actually said this is their life right now. So John, what is it going to do?
First and foremost, you need to find out what the life expectancy is for a ferret.
What do you think it is?
I have no idea.
I think it's like 15 years or something.
15 years, man. Ooh.
Someone at work has one. I think they live like 15 years at least. Life expectancy. 6 years. They can live up to 10 years of age.
Oh, okay.
But
But I mean, if you have the same luck as I do, that thing ain't dying.
Anyway, 20 years.
I would like go to your landlord and be like, try and wheel and deal and say, hey man,
Oh my God, John!
say you can't have pets, so you can kind of get out of this,
What are you doing? He's going behind his woman's back.
man.
That is.
If it's
if she-
making
no.
him that miserable,
If she finds that out, John, he's a dead man walking. Like, he might as well just. Are you serious? You would go. So I want to make sure I heard this advice right. You would go. So they're going to move in and find a new place. Is that what you're kind of saying? Because they live in two separate places. So
I thought she was just gonna move into his place.
okay, whatever. She's moving in his place. He's going to go to his landlord and go, hey, I need you to issue a decree. No. Now, she loves this ferret. This is like her pet. She really loves this thing. I mean, if that's your advice, man, I'm not knocking you, man. But
I mean, if he sounds like he's like in dire straits, will do anything not to have this ferret.
yes. I mean,
As much as she loves the ferret, it sounds like he's on the other end of the spectrum.
it steals things. It bites him. It does not like him. So you're saying, I want to make sure I get this right, John, because this person's listening.
Drastic.
Someone says, Lisa Mays in the chat, wow, he sucks. I hope she listens and leaves him. And it's possible. So John's advice, I just want to make sure before we end this short Dear John, is you would advise this man, and he's going to write me back and let me know how this went. Go to his landlord behind his girl's back and beg him not to let the ferret stay with him. That's it. Just yes or no,
Yeah,
John. Okay,
yeah, do
there
it,
you go.
do
That's
it,
Dear
do
John. Oh, no. Oh, man, that's rough, bro. All right, there we go. So that's Dear John. We'll expect some more of those coming down in the future. They're always. I did not expect that to be your answer. I actually didn't know what your answer would be, but I definitely did not expect that one. Well, thank you so much, John, for doing that. If you want to hit us up, bybpod@gmail.com, or they can go to the website, bybpod.com. You can go check out that website. And that website, if I can pull it up on the screen here, maybe not, I don't know. It's bybpod.com. Go check it out. It's got all of our past episodes on it. It's got ways to email the show. We got merchandise. If you like this hat I'm wearing, you can get a hat. You can get leggings. You can get T-shirts, face masks.
Valentine's Day is coming up. Go to our website. Get your gifts on Amazon. Use our Amazon affiliate link.
There you go. He knows what's up, man. And more importantly, you can get in touch with us. All of our
Or, John, you're going to need a really good Valentine's gift.
Oh, man. You might. If you're, I would be scared to give that answer. But yes, go to our website. Go to all the podcast platforms, subscribe. We're on all of them. So if you want to check out the show, we're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play. We're on all of it. Tell your friends about it. Share us on social media like Glenda does all the time. MVP. I mean, the work she does on social media is phenomenal. We thank you, Glenda, so much for that. I mean, it's phenomenal. And we appreciate everyone that ever shares anything for us on social media. But go to the website, check it out, rate, review, subscribe, all that. And with John, that being said, is there anything else?
Don't blame yourself when you can blame your brother.